Boys and girls, dogs, animals, entity, blades of grass that can hear me speaking right now. Welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the only podcast threatened by trees. And here he is. The Yankees are going to the World Series. He's pumped up. He's baby blue in the sunshine. It's Eddie Pepitone.
Good day, everybody. What a day it is. What a day. What a day. We are in the end days of capitalism, the final stage, the dissolution of capitalism, when everything and everybody becomes a commodity. We're eaten alive by corporate greed. And we were just talking, hello everybody, me and Kevin, we're just talking about what scumbags these corporations are.
Oh, yeah.
Who wind up killing people with cancers. And thank you so much for tuning in. I like starting the podcast.
Get right into
with
it.
Cancers. Mm-hmm. And they kill people, and then they hide behind, they claim bankruptcy.
Yep. Well, they chop up their company to put the liability in a particular section. Yeah, I'm in a minor lawsuit over my mother's passing with Johnson & Johnson.
Johnson & Johnson. You know, I did get, when the pandemic was raging and the vaccines first came out, I got the Johnson & Johnson only because it was the only one I could get an appointment for.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, fuck, I probably shouldn't have got that one because everybody was like saying the Johnson & Johnson one.
Yeah, they were rating the vaccines. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, there was a Zagat guide to vaccines. And it was done by, the New York Times restaurateur guide. But he wound up doing vaccines, and he was like, you are going to love the Johnson & Johnson. It is not one injection, it is two. It was two, I think.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They did the double injection up top. You had to go back like a few days later.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember going back.
Well, that's one of the
because I had to go to
Very few people remember going back for the second injection. That's one of the big problems with it.
Well, I always felt like, I just needed to get injected as soon as I could.
Well, you've always been a big fan of injections.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm old enough to have gone through the polio vaccine, I remember I didn't feel well for a while after the polio. And I also was one of the first people. We lived next to Jonathan Salk, who developed penicillin.
Oh.
He was developing penicillin in his backyard, and there were a lot of explosions, loud bangs, and I would be like, Johnny, we called him Johnny. No, Jonathan Salk, who developed penicillin. One of the first vaccines, and I was lucky enough to be one of the test subjects. It was me, a frog, and a very small monkey. Me, a frog, and a small monkey. And Salk, he apparently thought I wasn't, that I should go before the frog. And I said, why not?
Yeah.
Do the frog first.
Animal testing first, yeah.
That way if he keels over, and he said, no, we do you first. He had a weird accent.
Good old
I was like, all right.
Joni Salk,
John.
Is it John? I thought it was Jonas.
John. Yeah,
is it Jonas?
John. I don't know.
I've been now
you got me confused.
I've been studying the Salk family for for millennia. It's great that you lived through, some of these brilliant minds out there.
I fucking lived through the great influenza. Spanish influenza, I believe.
Well, I remember you told me about a lot of the Spanish Inquisition stuff that you had to live through.
The Spanish Inquisition, which was in the 1700s, and as you know, I was born 1691.
That's right.
I've just have a good diet.
Great diet.
I'm now, let's see, I'm almost 400.
Yeah. You look great.
Thank
not
you.
a day
Imagine
over 63.
if we lived Imagine if we lived to 400.
No thanks. No thanks.
And imagine you're like 355 and like Rita is finally coming around to you at the
Booker
Improv.
at the Improv. Yeah.
You've been at the Improv like 255 years doing sound, and Rita's like, you know what? We're giving you a spot, a late night spot in the lab.
It's all immigrants will be in there. Not a lot of Spanish speakers, but we're gonna give you 5 minutes up top as people are getting seated.
You're 385. You're kept alive in like a vat of blue liquid, like you're just floating in a blue liquid, and they lower the mic, and you're like, hey folks.
I'm still doing my same bits. I go, "Oh, my son, he's a wild kid."
I mean, he's 290 now, but he's still a child.
And then the computer that Rita's consciousness has been uploaded to just starts flashing. Not interested. Not interested. Like, maybe in another 300 years.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. By the way, I've been having so much fun with this AI music creation application.
Do you want to play something for
I mean, I got a bunch of them. It'll take me a second to look it up, but I've been having so much fun with it. And
really? Tell our viewers, listeners, what you punch in that you've been having.
You can put any sort of information about what you want the song to be about.
Right.
You can tell it what genre you want it to be, and it will throw some stuff out. So, like, when I'm sitting back there waiting for the show to start, especially if it's like a show that's like an open mic or something, I will start making songs and playing them over the speaker system, so that while people are getting seated, it'll be about the open mic. Like, you better not screw this up.
Oh, my God.
Or Rita will kill you. Like just being absolutely
Hey, it was
insane.
Rita's birthday the other day, I saw.
Oh.
Is that right?
I got to give her, I got to send her a message.
This is why you're not getting booked.
I think you're right.
You got to give her public service. What does that mean? Look at that.
Oh, you're getting a public service announcement phone call.
Let's click it
Yeah,
while
might
we're
as
here.
well. Let's see what we got.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is May. I'm calling from the Social Security Administration.
No.
Okay, so folks, I just got a call from Social Security, and I don't want to brag about that because I know a lot of you are not at retirement age. But I got to tell you, and me and Kevin were just reminiscing, or not reminiscing, but mulling or
Yeah.
We were just talking about the business and how, I'm finally at the point where I don't give a shit anymore because I'm getting, a monthly pension and I'm getting some Social Security money and, money from my dad who passed away. And, I have been scraping like fingernails, clawing in this business for a long time, which the benefit of that is it makes me funny.
Yes.
But I'm also undergoing major surgery.
Yeah.
Because of the stress in this business.
Well, I mean, if they take out the funny gene, while they're in there on
what they're
accident.
taking out, and I might as well tell you the surgery there, it's a career removal. They're just taking out my desire to be, to have a career.
Yeah. They take away your desire to be liked by the masses.
Right.
But that's exciting, man, because I mean, it'll be nice to be able to take a little bit of a breather,
Hell
relax. You don't have to kowtow to the.
I still love performing so much, and I love going around to different cities, but I don't have to look at every fucking gig and go, yeah, thank God this gig came. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that scene in the documentary where you get an audition.
Yeah,
and you can see your pain. You have to fax a headshot. It's in the documentary. This is like 15 years ago.
A headshot?
You had to fax a headshot, and you're looking at it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, that doesn't even look like me. Oh God! And then you put it in the thing, and I always think about that. I think about that all the time because when I get auditions, there's that thank God that somebody is even potentially thinking about paying me to be a moron. But then there's the same thing like, oh, fuck, I got a slate. I'm going to, God damn it. I look like an idiot, or like, it's stressful. So, to be able to kind of.
They don't even do headshots anymore, right?
No.
Right.
No, I think that there's no headshots.
A headshot now is just something you get from an active shooter.
They're great. They'll get you.
They'll get you.
Oh, they'll get you.
Come on down. If you need headphones or any headgear, follow the active shooter. That was a bit.
Yeah.
That was a bit we did. Are we recording?
Yeah. I just double checking.
Good. Always good. Do you know that my friend got me, we were doing a short film. We shot all day, and I'm not kidding about this, and he realized there was no film in the camera.
That he had to feel like the biggest idiot. He had to feel so bad.
But do you know that we all agreed then to come back and do it another day, and it went to Sundance?
Yes.
It was a short.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been recording podcasts for so long, and
You've been at it. How many have you done with Bruce Gray? And promote him on our podcast. I don't know.
Bruce Gray, hilarious comedian, stand-up.
He is very funny.
Paid regular at the Comedy Store. We did a podcast, Funny for Nothing. Before we did that, we did Bag Fries. And we had
what was the first one?
Bag fries.
Bag fries?
Yeah, like the leftover fries at the bottom of the bag. and
those are the best.
Yeah, the surprise fries. And then before that, I did Brain Jail, and before that,
Brain Jail. Yeah. I love that.
Brain Jail was a lot of fun. It was with Jason Ben Avery, and we recorded about 170 episodes.
170?
Yeah, something like that. And
Jesus
then
Christ.
Before that, I did Rippin' and Skippin' with Evan and Kevin, and that one is 100+ something episodes. And then before that, I did Nantucket Avenue,
Nantucket Avenue.
Yeah, Nantucket Avenue.
How'd that come about?
So that started.
Title.
It was
because I spent a summer in Nantucket, or 1 or 2 summers, and it was amazing.
Well, the house I bought in Fresno was on Nantucket Avenue. So
they had a Nantucket. I'm talking about the real Nantucket Island.
Yeah.
In, Massachusetts.
The fancy pants. No, this was this was just named after the street that my house is on, because I was doing when I was really involved in church, we do these Friday night man nights.
What was that?
So it was like, hey, we know we all love the Lord, but we also like to drink and smoke. So come to my place. And we won't judge you.
We love the Lord, but on the side, we're also into Satan a bit.
So I would have a bunch of dudes come over, great dudes, some of my best friends come over and sit in the backyard, and we just hang out. And then after doing that for a few years, I started recording it. And then I'd go around the circle, and people would tell a story based on.
How many people were there?
Oh, it would vary from 3 to 20 sometimes.
And you started recording that?
Yeah. I just put.
You still have it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Still got it. I put like a little room recorder in the middle of the coffee table I had in the backyard.
Oh wow.
And we would just talk shit and have fun, and then I would go through and use a bunch of copyrighted songs that I didn't know I couldn't use, and post them. And I submitted a couple of them to NPR. Which got down the line a little bit with one of the stories, a Halloween story.
Yeah. Was it This American Life?
Yes, that's what I was trying to submit to.
They asked me to craft a story, and I was working with an editor there, and she was great and everything, but they decided not to air it.
Yeah, I think they use a lot of material and don't use a lot of it.
This American Life. I forget. Was that with Noah Adams?
No, that was. It's with Ira Glass.
Ira Glass. That's right.
Yeah.
And I was pissed that they didn't use the story, because I spent time fucking working on this story, and she was great. The woman I think it might have been Ira Glass's wife or whatever. But it was a story about how my roommate was a fucking crazy pothead in New York when I lived in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm talking about like a pothead that he would urinate into bottles in the back room, and I'll never forget. Like one day, it was like a horror story, and we're around Halloween, and I went in and I was like, "What are these yellow bottles on the along the wall?" They would be like many of them.
Yeah,
and it was like. It was like that moment where, oh my God, the phone call is coming from inside the house. It's urine.
That's so disgusting.
It was, and I'll tell you, it tasted horrible.
You were living with Howard Hughes of pot.
Oh,
he's like inventing new bongs.
No, but it was hilarious because, and Steve, if you're listening, you're probably dead, but if you're managed to be alive somehow. He was a sound guy. You're a sound guy.
Yeah.
He was a sound guy for Broadway fucking shows.
Oh, wow.
Off Broadway.
Yeah.
Sister Mary Ignatius Explains It All to You, the Christopher Durang play.
Oh, yeah.
You must know that, your religious background.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher Durang also had a Catholic upbringing. And if you get a chance, if you don't know who Christopher Durang is, a great, funny playwright.
Yes. Yeah.
Beyond Therapy, Baby in the Bathwater.
Dude, I read Baby in the Bathwater.
Oh, you did?
My junior year of high school. And was
I love
blown
his
away.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd never done any acting or anything. I had done a bunch of improvised, stupid videos that me and my friends would put together. So I didn't know I was acting, but I was. And then I did my first acting class junior year of high school.
And you read Baby in the Bathwater.
Yeah.
Which is a very sophisticated, comedic play.
Yes. Yeah, I read it on my own when we were in there because we would have times where we would memorize scripts or whatever.
Right.
And I was always really good at that. So I would get done quick and then I would read other books. But she would lead us through guided meditations too, which was really cool to kind of loosen our minds and stuff.
Oh, really?
Joyce Anabo, rest in peace, man. She was a great teacher. Big pothead too. She lived right behind my brother, and so my brother
Everybody's a pothead that I know now. Well, not everybody.
My brother would be like, yeah, late at night I can smell the pot weaving over the back fence, and that's your teacher over there.
When you go into my apartment building, it smells like Woodstock 69, not the concerts they redid.
Not 99.
The Summer of Love, it smells like when you open the front door to this place.
Yes.
It's
Everywhere.
Like,
Yeah.
LA
wild.
is fucking marijuana central.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who...
The weather is conducive to it out here too, right?
Oh, absolutely. If you'd been on the phone for another 5 minutes, I'd be high out of my mind right now. I literally was like, well, this is going to go...
Did you get a puff?
I know I didn't, but I wouldn't grab my lighter because I was like preparing. But yeah, though, there's a lot of people, when you throw creative people in the mix with desperation and failure, and then you tell them marijuana's legal and cheap, it's like, why not? People are going buck wild.
It's not that cheap, though.
No,
is
it's
it,
not that
in
cheap.
the stores.
It depends on where you go. I go up in the mountains, and it's a lot.
I get
cheaper.
it from an older woman when I was smoking named Lady Diane, and she's very old, and she's kept in a crypt, and she also urinates, not into bottles, but into pancake. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Hold on, I got JT. I got my buddy JT who I tour with coming in. Let's see. Maybe we'll make a call to JT. Just checking in, pal. How you doing? Come whenever. I'm in the park. Come whenever. Go ahead. Keep talking to these folks.
Hey, folks.
You know what we were talking about too was the AI stuff. We were just about to get into that.
I was going to play you one of the songs I made. And by the way, I don't support this. All right? I'm loving it.
Well, here's the thing, buddy. You kind of do.
I know.
And I don't know if it's a bad thing. I mean, as long as you're not ripping. But what is going on with this?
So this is one that I made for.
Talk to them. Talk to our listeners and viewers about what the process is.
I put in a blues song about Eddie Pepitone, Apocalypse Soon podcast, with Kevin, and then I mention a couple of things like the last newscaster, and then it just spits out.
All right, let's see.
This
Will
song.
they be able to hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie and Kevin walking down a lonely road. The cots playing tales untold. Italian laying in the sky, whisper truths that fireflies. The last newscaster on Earth still reports. Static fills the lonely courts. Eau de Pepitone, perfume in the air, a scent of memories and despair. Apocalypse blues got me singing along. World's gone down.
Now, can you put that as our song for Apocalypse
Oh,
Soon?
yeah.
Because that's very good.
Yeah, we could do anything.
Now,
And
the question is,
Well, let me
is
say-
that taking away work?
This is where
Well,
I'm going
then
to
we
shout it
should-
out to you.
That's why we should
If
do
you're
it.
a music maker out there and you want to make us a theme song or anything, we
right.
will play it on the podcast.
Right.
Absolutely. So that's where my head is at. I'm not like hiring people. I'm literally just at my house in the middle of the night, high out of my mind, putting in a song about farts in my nutsack and make it a show tune from the 1960s. And, you can do everything. It's a lot of fun. But my friends are getting annoying.
Farts, Kevin. Like I'm trying to think of the AI version of farts in your nutsack in blues. Well, I was walking down the road with my nutsack hanging out, farting like a milkman.
Those milkmen.
What?
The milkmen get gassy.
Well, yeah. Especially if you're lactose intolerant.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that would be funny if instead of lactose intolerant, there was just a large group of people who were lactose friendly, and like whenever they drank, dairy, they just kind of perked up.
I wish. Yeah, because I don't. I mean, we got a little lactose intolerance in the old Tinkin family, and none of us pay attention to it. We're all just like, yeah, I guess I'll be on the toilet later on today, but I sure do love these cookies. You know what we got to do, Eddie?
What do we got to do?
We're in it. We're in the podcast. We got to give the audience some classic Pepitone bits.
Okay, what are we doing?
I don't know. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What's your body telling you?
I don't know, buddy. I let you do these calls because I'm trying to just... Here's the thing with me. I'm just trying to stay even-keeled. I had a very late night last night, and I'm trying to, just kind of do whatever comes. I mean, maybe an ode to Pepitone?
I love it. And now a perfume that makes you question if you should put it on. It's the Pepitone.
Are you feeling asexual?
Pepitone.
Are you feeling like, if I go out tonight, 99% chance I'm going to wind up alone?
Pepitone.
Then have we got a perfume for you. This perfume will guarantee you masturbating by yourself again.
Pepitone.
If you put just a little dab behind your ear, on your neck, and behind your right kneecap, go out to a bar and sit there alone.
Ooh, it stings a little.
Ode to Pepitone is now available in 3 sizes: small, extra small, and diminutive. You can find Ode to Pepitone hidden behind pudding in your local supermarkets. That's right. Ode to Pepitone is now being hidden behind pudding in local supermarkets.
Come out wherever you are.
Take a vanilla pudding box, look behind it, grab Ode to Pepitone, put a little behind your ears, and get ready to be alone.
Pepitone.
Oh, the Pepitone. This year, the new scent that's coming out is designed to make skunks cringe.
Pepitone.
Oh, the Pepitone. If a state trooper pulls you over, they'll get one whiff of this and wave you on and say, don't worry about it.
Get down on the ground.
Eau de Pepitone is the scent for people who not only are alone, but who plan to be alone until a violent death.
Where is everyone?
You will feel like the Omega Man, the last man on Earth, if you just put a little of Eau de Pepitone on you.
Pepitone.
Eau de Pepitone is especially designed for people who play pickleball. That's right, if you play pickleball, put a little Eau de Pepitone on your ears. Now, I don't know what pickleball is, but let's say it's dill pickleball or crispy dill pickleball.
Pepitone.
Put a little behind you, and I guarantee you will be playing pickleball alone. Oh, the Pepitone is used by mimes. That's right. Mimes use eau de Pepitone. They're always trying to get out of the box or walk against the wind. And they're always doing that alone in empty black box theaters.
Pepitone.
That's right. Eau de Pepitone is used by mimes who have no audience. Eau de Pepitone is also used by jugglers who can't juggle.
So many balls in the air.
Eau de Pepitone. Recommended by coal miners in Appalachia who die alone.
Black lung, no thanks.
Eau de Pepitone. Look for it behind the vanilla and chocolate pudding section.
Pick up your Pepitone today in abandoned Walmarts.
Ah, that was a good one. Why don't we go right into it, driving in the rain?
I love it. I love it. And now, driving in the rain with Eddie Pepitone.
It was a cool October night here in Los Angeles, and suddenly the skies cracked open like a vault. Like a vault during the Bugsy Siegel era in L.A. or Las Vegas. Wherever Bugsy Siegel was, the sky cracked open like a vault was blown apart by gangsters who needed money, and the rain started pelting my Uber Eats / Instacart / DoorDash / Bloodmobile / Therapy Mobile / Bookmobile / all the kinds of things that my car is used for to try to make me money. And I was driving a beautifully done fettuccine Alfredo to a retired sergeant in the Marines, and he wanted a fettuccine Alfredo before blowing his brains out with a in a formal ceremony that only sergeants in the Marines do. And I knew this fettuccine Alfredo was his last meal, and the rain was hampering my ability to get the fettuccine Alfredo to the suicidal sergeant who had been through all the Gulf Wars. And I'm not even talking about in Iraq, I'm talking about the Gulf of Mexico, where the hurricanes were. He was in charge of FEMA, and he couldn't take it anymore because the hurricanes would get stronger and stronger. And here in LA, the rain was coming down. I mean, it came down so fast. It was faster than the thoroughbreds at the Kentucky Derby. It was faster than a thief who had just injected methamphetamine and heard a police siren and had to get out of a 2-story apartment. It was faster than a dog that saw a squirrel. It was faster than a fart going through a man's system who had an incredibly large burrito. It was faster. This rain was coming down so fast that I couldn't even see it. I was getting wet, and I was wondering, where the hell is this rain coming from? And as I drove the streets of LA, all the streetwalkers, all the sex workers, all the aphorisms, all of the aphorisms that were used for people sucking dick these days, they were all inside now, smoking cigarettes, watching black and white TVs, watching old movies like Gaslight, which is where the term gaslighting came from. Like old James Cagney movies, just all those movies where Cagney would say, "Look at me now, Ma, look at me now." And the rain came down on a film noir type night. The fettuccine Alfredo was going to and fro. There were signs on the LA streets because we were in monsoon season. It said, "Turn around, don't drown." And that was if you saw a puddle. If you saw a puddle, you were supposed to turn around and don't drown. As a child, I used to jump into puddles and just have a terrific time with it. And now it was turn around, don't drown, and that was because of the climate catastrophe we were going through. The ocean currents were now so disoriented. Ocean currents now had reversed themselves. Rain was falling now at a pace. 40 days and 40 nights was nothing. Now the biblical story had to be changed to 195 nights and 195 days. And it wasn't easy to change the Gutenberg Bible. They didn't let you go near that Gutenberg Bible. But then I saw the retired Marine sergeant through the rain slashing down like the guitarist of that name. The rain slashing down like a sick killer who went around slashing women in underwear. Only women in underwear running through the woods. The rain was slashing down, slanting down like a crooked blackjack dealer, like a crooked teacher who would pretend he was an algebra teacher when he was really just plying the children with antidepressants. The rain was slashing down, and in the distance I can see the sergeant with a gun to his head, yelling 10 Hut. And I knew he was going to pull that trigger, and I yelled, "I have your fettuccine Alfredo." And he said, "You're just in time. I was about to off myself." And I said, "Don't do it." He said, "Is it still warm?" I said, "No." And then a loud gunshot went off.
Thanks for joining us for another Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone.
Ooh, a sad ending. But
I know.
a lot of these driving in the rains are,
I mean, it's real.
they're not for everybody.
It's real stuff, And I mean, I've been there when you get cold fettuccine Alfredo. There's only really a few courses of action you can take, and that's one of them.
We ate at an Italian place one night and got very full.
Oh, yeah, Lil Tony's.
Oh, yeah, Little Tony's.
I've brought up Lil Tony's to many people since then because it was
Have they
so
heard
good.
of it?
I think some people have.
Yeah, it's been around forever.
Yeah, anybody that's been in North Hollywood any amount of time knows about Lil Tony's.
Yeah. Very carb heavy. If you're watching your carbs, There's actually a warning sign in front of Little Tony's that says if you're watching your carbs, step on it. Don't take your foot off the gas pedal, because Little Tony's is where diets go to die.
Oh yeah,
that's another sign.
It's they call it Atkins Nightmare over there. Yeah, it was amazing. And
you ever
good
cut
dessert.
out carbs though? You feel miserable.
I hate it. I can't do it. I literally can't do it. Because when I cut out sugar, God, that was so.
That's hard. Yeah.
I'm still trying to go on it. You know, I'll cheat a little bit with a chocolate covered almond periodically or whatever, but I'm still going on it. And man, trying to cut out like.
Well, you've done very well.
The bread. Oh my God.
Carbs. You got to have some.
Gotta have some. Yeah, I mean,
I was told to have good carbs like sweet potatoes.
The sweet potatoes are great.
They are.
Like with brown sugar on them.
With the brown sugar. With the marshmallow. Some people even put marshmallows for Thanksgiving. We got Thanksgiving coming up.
I'm very excited. Yeah, my Aunt Martha, who was the only smoker in our family, she would smoke and she would make some of the most delicious candied yams ever.
Oh, right. Candied yams. That's what they're called. What is the difference? The holidays are coming up, you know. There's a genocide going on. What is the difference between a candied yam and a sweet potato?
I don't think there's any difference. I think a yam and a sweet potato are the same thing.
Is that right?
I think so. You know what? Go into Google on this one.
All right.
Because this is important.
Yeah. I always thought there was some subtle difference. You know, you ever have something called the Japanese sweet potato?
No, I haven't. Okay.
What do you got there?
It says they're different.
I knew it.
Yams and sweet potatoes are different vegetables with distinct appearances, flavors, and textures. Yams are rough brown skin that resembles tree bark, while sweet potatoes have a smooth reddish skin. See, this is why people tune in to this podcast. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are going, what's the difference? You know, I didn't know. I'm learning.
Hey, Margaret. Yes, Al? What is the difference between a yam and a sweet potato? Oh, Al, should I turn on Apocalypse soon? Oh, yeah, you think they're talking about that? Well, we're regulars on that. Margaret, don't break the fourth wall here. Al, I'm not the one who broke the fourth wall. You did it while you were installing the high def TV. You were nailing in the high def TV to the fourth wall, and you broke it. Margaret, you know that the fourth wall is imaginary. Oh yeah, until you break it, and then I gotta clean up all the pieces of the fourth wall. And we don't even have the HD TV. Margaret, why are you getting so upset? Did you take your antidepressant? I am sick of masking my pain. Margaret, antidepressants are not just masking your pain, they're pushing it down. What's the difference, Al? Hey, you know what you need? Let me punch in a blues song with your name in it to AI, and I'm going to say, okay, hello, AI, I want you to do a blues song about the love of my life, Margaret, who doesn't like her antidepressants anymore. She's angry at the fourth wall being broken. And just generally, AI, could you sing a nice blues song to try to get Margaret out of a foul mood? Because when Margaret's in a foul mood, don't you talk to the computer badly about me. Margaret, come on. Let's see what AI comes up with, okay? Al, you know that you always badmouth me to Alexa, AI, and Siri. And I think I'm getting a bad reputation on the web. Margaret, these are imaginary things. No, they're not, Al. Just like the fourth wall isn't imaginary. Margaret, all right, listen. Here it comes, okay, sweetheart? I'm gonna punch in Margaret.
Margaret's feeling down love it. Shadows, howling pain. Antidepressants on the shelf.
This is so nice, Al.
I wanna lift her to herself. Her tears like a midnight rain. Sky so heavy, filled with pain.
Oh, wow.
But I got a plan in my heart.
Eternal fell. I love you so much. And, you know, whenever I'm feeling down and you take work away from people by using AI, it just kind of lifts my spirits, you know, because I think of all the artists out of work, and I don't know, whenever I think of people out of work, I just get a bounce in my step. You know, Al? Yeah, baby, that's why I do it for you, you know? You know, I know that you like to walk around artist communities and see them crying and, you know, just eating trail mix. I know you like that, Margaret. Yes, Al. Would you mind unzipping my dress? You mean you wanna go right into lovemaking from depression? You know my mood swings. Margaret, we're on the bipolar roller coaster. Oh, Al, I love it when you use old jokes. Ah, Margaret. I didn't know this AI song was gonna lift us right into bed, so I just ate a formaggio pizza. 4 cheeses? Yeah, 4 quattro formaggio pizza in the bed, so let me clean it up. Do you want the wet vac? Well, by the way, where did you get that wet vac? Oh, I ordered it from Amazon. I told you, Margaret, we're ordering too much money. We're ordering too much from Amazon. Al, please, my libido is, I'm losing my desire to make love if you're going to scold me. Margaret, come on. Do you really want me to make love to you now? Al, I've never been so sure about anything except one time when I was making chicken soup and I picked my own mushrooms. I was like, are these poisonous or not? I was very sure something was wrong. And I'm about as sure of that, of making love to you, as I was about the poisonous soup. Oh, Margaret. You really make me nuts. Oh, Al, if you're feeling nuts, maybe you should take an antidepressant. You want to take antidepressants together? I wouldn't mind. Really? Wait, give me one of yours. What a Zoloft, huh? Yeah, if I were you, I would start with 200 milligrams. Really? Yeah, start with 200 milligrams and work your way up to like 210 milligrams. All right, Margaret. All right, let me unzip you. All right, let me gulp down the Zoloft. Gulp. Did you really take a... Margaret, I don't even exist. What? Hold it. Before making love, you're going to tell me you don't exist? Do you know what a turnoff that is? Margaret, you know we are just 2 characters in the mind of Eddie Pepitone. God damn it, Al, I love you so much. No, you don't. Why? Because we're fictional, Margaret. If we're fictional, then why are you so angry? Because the fictional me is nothing but the manifestation of Eddie Pepitone's anger that has been repressed since his very early years. Don't you blame Eddie for me and you. Well, who the hell else is it? It's Kevin, too. What? No, I'm sorry. I don't want to get him involved. Margaret, look, I'll make love to you if you admit that we're fictitious. Come here, you fictitious hunk.
And thanks for joining us at another Checking In with Allen Margret, the couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
How we doing?
I think we're doing pretty good. I say we've got a few more minutes just for safety. Why don't we end it with I mean, I know we're in the park, the sun's setting. You know, the world's being genuine with us right now. So we could, I don't know if you want to give a little encouragement to the audience or a little final words of wisdom.
Oh, a little final word.
Yeah,
well,
maybe a little something. I don't know.
Okay, let's think. I usually, it's funny to go from, being very abstract, very absurd to sincerity. One thing I've been trying to do, and I talk about this, but it's difficult to do, is, and I make fun of guided meditations, and one of the reasons I make fun of guided meditations is that I think, the things that I make fun of, the things that we make fun of, I think are things that are actually very important to us, and I think that it's very true that guided, what these meditations are supposed to do is take you out of the incessant chatter in your mind. And I find that my incessant chatter is on a loop, and it is very kind of self-loathing. It is kind of like a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my inner monologues are real assholes sometimes.
Yeah, they're assholes, but they keep us from just enjoying.
Yeah.
Enjoying our lives and enjoying, the things that hello, and look at hello, baby, hello. He's saying hello, yes, I like your bandana. Like dogs are a great example. It just came up that they are so in the moment and they don't worry. Now, obviously, the reason why animals don't worry is that their brains, they don't.
Yeah.
Yes. Right? I mean...
Yeah, they're just trying to survive and
right.
Yeah. They're just happy. Yeah, it's all id. I just watched Adaptation. Have you ever seen that movie?
I love it. I love Charlie Kaufman.
Amazing.
If you haven't seen Charlie Kaufman films, Adaptation, Being John Malkovich.
Amazing.
Schenectady, New York. There's the latest one. I forget the title of it, but...
I watched it with my daughter because she's a creative. And so, and I'm like, pay attention to this because it's kind of an allegory for our own a creative's mind, because he's got his twin brother who is kind of dumb, and he just makes stuff and he learns the rules of script writing. He just puts it out. He doesn't think about it. But then you constantly are going back to Charlie Kaufman and his inner monologue, and he's obviously brilliant. He's a brilliant mind. He's a great screenwriter, and he's just in his mind going, "You suck. You're an idiot. You're a loser."
Yeah.
It's wild. It's perfect.
Yeah. And Kaufman is a great example of a creative who fights through that. Like, he uses all that neurosis to create incredibly beautiful, insightful, funny movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that movie in particular, I mean, every single one of them, Being John Malkovich as well, but it's a lot about getting out of your own head, and kind of the grass is greener idea. And then, learning to love yourself a little bit and whatnot. But yeah, it's I struggle with that so much. The inner negative thoughts that get me to stop doing things I love.
It is so insidious.
Yeah.
It's so built into us. There's so much, and the reasons are interesting. Like there's so much guilt built in to being the best you can be, because I think we have been programmed to, by at the earliest stages to not leave people behind. Like when you really are starting to do great things with your life, people close to you will sabotage you.
Yes.
Occasionally, if they're not on top of their own neuroses, because they don't want to be left behind.
Yes.
Well,
people don't like change, even if it's for the positive.
Yeah, that's a difficult one too. So getting back to words of advice, and I need to take it. I need to remind myself all the time is like, just breathe. Like seriously, like feel your breath. Take a beat. Take a step back from the incessant worry.
Yeah.
I guess I'm talking to myself, but I know other people have the same issues, like just this incredibly hyperactive mind, and we live in this sped up time where things are going faster and faster, and it's just insane how fast things are going, and we're not built for that.
No.
So we need to kind of like just breathe and try to not try but just be, and not always be caught, for me, not always being caught in achievement, like, I have to achieve. I have to make a name for myself. You know what I mean? I have to please that's another, please people. I have to please people. Just, and this is whenever you're talking about words of advice, and this is again the voice in my head, it's like, oh, this is just trite. Oh, this is just run of the mill. Everybody talks about this shit. These are cliches. But, you want to just slow down. You want to stop pleasing people and realize you want for nothing.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
You want for nothing, ultimately, in the moment.
Yeah.
Isn't that a biblical thing almost?
I mean, yeah.
You want for nothing?
Well, there's a whole, and it's more of a Jewish story because it's Old Testament, of, when God would provide the manna from heaven. And
God provides.
Yes, but they couldn't, the rule was don't store it, because when they would store it, it would go bad. But God would provide every day. And, and that's a real...
Look at the lilies in the field.
Yes.
They do not toil, and yet they are glorious.
Yeah. But I think it's in a lot of religions. Be grateful. God will take care of you. You will be okay.
Very hard to do in this competitive, insane world, and based on money that you need, and the warmongers who just solve things by killing people, and they solve nothing, and humanity is taken away from people, and you're supposed to put on light-fitting clothing. And that's why I do the guide. That's why that came to me as a funny thing to do, guided meditations, because we live in these insanely stressful times, and the guided meditations sometimes to me seem absurd.
Yes, well, they absolutely are absurd, but I think you almost have to embrace that absurdity in order to not go nuts. You know what I mean? You kind of almost have to, you have to put it out of your mind. You know, which is why I think the guided meditations are so funny, because you're reminding people of all the bad things to put out of their mind, which is great. Yeah, when you talk about, like, I think this is for myself. I've described myself when it comes to mental health to, like, my friends or whatever as like a fat track coach, where I feel like I know a lot of the things that I'm supposed to do.
A fat track coach.
But I'm like,
is there any other kind?
Yeah. I'm like, I could teach you how to run fast. I'm not going to do it myself, but I know a lot of the things.
Yeah.
But that's great. I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for joining us on the roller coaster. I mean, and we ended up on some sweetness there.
Bipolar roller coaster.
Oh, yeah, the bipolar roller.
Don't bring that up again. Margaret, let him wrap up the podcast.
Yeah, Margret, jeez. Go to EddiePepitone.com if you want to see him live in your area. And go over to Patreon, throw us $5 a month, and we'll get you this podcast the day it comes out. If you want to throw us $20, we'll get you some exclusive Pepitone content, as well as some apparel and whatnot. And then go over to YouTube and subscribe over there. We're creeping. We are creeping on 2,000 subscribers over there, folks. And if we just get a portion of you audio listeners over there to YouTube, we will blow up over there. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you guys for watching/listening/risk to Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside.